Hello and welcome to another episode of Bandit Fishing UK. In this episode, we are fishing an estuary mark and the tide's just starting to flood in. Our target's going to be bass. The only sort of bycatch we might have is flounder, but bass is the target. It's going to be a very simple way of fishing. We're fishing pretty light, or I am anyway, and we'll be ledgering crab. We've just been rooting around trying to find a few fresh peelers, and we have, luckily. But I think I got about 30 crab in the bucket, so that's more than enough. We'll probably have a few left over. But the tide is just coming in around the corner. We're going to be fishing into the channel behind us. That's the main feature. So it's just a short lob, 40-50 yards maximum. And I'm going to be using rolling ledgers, plain leads. And just leave it settle into a divot. Hopefully that's where the fish will run. So my setup is a bit lighter than the usual sort of 4 to 8 ounce beach casters we use and multipliers. I'm using the same rods and reels that I used on the flounder video that we took in the Locker Estuary. I got a pair of flatty fanatics. The one's 11 foot, the other one's 12 foot. And 2 fixed spool reels. One's loaded with 15, one's loaded with 18. Both is plenty. I got a tapered shock leader on both, and I've got plain leads. The rig is a running ledger, so that this is my shock leader coming down. I've got a size 1 Tronics Pro swivel. I got about 18 inches of 80-pound rig body with a pulley bead and a clip, so that's free running, and that comes down to another swivel. So that pulley bead will slide between the 2 swivels. And obviously my leads on that clip, so that gives the fish a little bit of slack to take the bait, and then they'll feel the resistance of the lead, and hopefully that's when I'll get a slamming bite. And onto that swivel I've got a link to my snood, and then I got 2 foot of 40-pound asso, the 40-pound is, and I got a 3/0 crab hook on the top and a 2/0 mant down on the bottom. That's baited up with a softy crab, but most of them are going to be peelers. By having that clip at the swivel, I can leave the rig body on the rod the whole time, and I can just change the snood. So I can bait up a few snoods ready, and then reel in, clip a new one back on, and I'm fishing in seconds. So let's get this one out there. Jason's he's been having a tapping bite on his left hand rod. He's going to see if there's a fish on it. He thinks there might be something small. Fish on, Jace? Might be a little flatty, might be nothing. No. Might be a fish on there. Yeah. We'll have a look. Hey! Bass, small one is it? As a start. Go on then. Reel him in a bit more, Chase. Lift him out. I didn't expect that to do. The man's on fire. The man's on fire. He's got a real good bite, yeah. Strip it. Go on, get on him. Get on him, Jace. Yeah. Go down to the water a little bit, Jace. It is fighting, isn't he, this one? A bit different to the last one. Go down to the water a bit, there. Nice. I'll have to go down and land this fish for Jason. Much better fight than the last one. On that ledge, is it? Gotta keep an eye on my rods as well. Dropped them. Never. Oh no! Never. You still on there? Look up our ledge there. Oh, keep going. Good fish on there, isn't it? We're moving towards you, I think, yeah? Yeah, come on, keep him going. Come on. That's what it's all about, isn't it? He's on there, isn't he? Nervous now. Taking me up there. Get him in here, yeah. Like, oh, it's going to be a good fish, that is. Yeah. See him? See him? On stones, see? Did you get him on the stones? Oh, oh, keep up those rocks. Yeah, I'm trying to get him over there, man. Yes, I go. Yes, back in. Come on in, let's have a look. Oh, I can see it. Over here. You get him over to me? I'll try my best, Jay, so I can see if I'm on. Whoa! Put them in the net, come here. Down there, is it? Okay. About £6 he was. Bass about £6 right in the side.
Gone.
It was going to be let go anyway, but it'd be nice to have a photo. But Jason's on fire anyway. My turn now. I got a bite on this right hand rod. Come on, fish. Absolutely gutted about Jason's fish then. Gutted. Wish we had a net. Oh well. At least we got to see it.
He was taking.
Yeah, good fighting it. Well, I've had to change the grip blades. Jason's used them from the start. He's holding bottom well, but he's using our standard tackle with 6-ounce grippers. And I've got the 4-ounce grippers on mine, just to hold bottom, so I was getting swept into the side. But at least we're having a couple of plucks anyway. I think there's a few schoolies out there because we're having a few rattles. But that last bite Jason had was a screamer. He's taking loads of line. Let's hope we can get our hands on another one. I'm just making up a couple of spare snoods, or spare baits on my spare snoods. Like I said, peeler is the bait today. That's all we got with us. We brought a few frozen just in case we couldn't find any, but we have managed to find a few fresh. So I've started off, I've taken the legs off and I've peeled the legs. It's always worth doing because you can get a lot of extra bait from a leg. Every 3 or 4 crabs you can get another bait. or you can bulk up your standard baits. So there's my crab with no legs. I've just peeled off the gill plates, and I'll pop off the back, the main shell. There we go, like so. That can go. It's not litter, it's natural, so you can just leave these about. Right, so now I've taken off the V, take off the mouth parts, and then you can start picking the underbelly. This is in great condition for peeling. It's just right, which makes it a lot easier. Sometimes you get crabs that are not quite ready, and you'll struggle to do the underneath. So I'm just getting the leg sockets off. They are still a little bit tough, just take your time. You don't have to get every single piece of it off. Some people are fussy. As long as they're not in the way, the hard bits are not in the way of the hook, it'll be just fine. So, nearly there with the legs. There's a bit of a fiddle, but when you're waiting for a bite, you can peel 3 or 4 crabs ready, as I will when we really start to kick off. Lovely, almost there. Right, that's the legs off. That's a peeled crab. I don't bother taking the lungs off because I think the fish find the crab with lungs in them, so they're not going to turn their noses up at a crab just because it's got lungs in it. Okay, now I get my scissors. There's the eyes of the crab. I'm going to cut through just over halfway to the crab. Now I've got my snood. Like I said, I've got that spare clip on there, so I can change fast. 2 foot. The 40 pound, and they're the hooks I spoke about earlier. Bottom hook into one side of the crab. Make sure that hook point is well proud, which it is there. I'll bind that on with the Gemini baiting tool. You'll find the end of the elastic. Okay, so I'll get towards the end of the tool. Hook point nice and proud. Bind it onto the line. Don't go over the top of the elastic with crabs. That's plenty. Hold that to one side, and I'm just going to nick that top hook into the crab to keep it all in line. That's the bonus for having the loose snood. Okay, so you could just fish as it is now. That's fine. Just put a couple more, so that's fine. But I'll add the legs. See, that's the legs off one crab. It's a fair bit on its own. I'm just literally going to hold that on the back of the bait and whip them on. It's a bit more bulk. If you leave a few strands loose, half the legs loose, might give it a bit of movement, a bit more attraction. Won't hurt. Any attraction is going to be a bonus. There we go. Just snap the elastic off. Hook point's nice and proud. I'll slide that off the tool. And there we go. So I'm fishing with 2 rods, so obviously I've got 2 rigs out at all times, and I'll have at least 2 of these baits ready to go. Because when the bass come through, it might happen fast. You might only get an hour of action, so you've got to make the most of that. So give yourself a head start and get some baits ready. Jason's in again. I'm just in the process of moving because I'm getting nothing but I am. Again, I'll just sort the camera out. Jason's going to come over to this little beach and we'll see if we can land this one. It's coming straight towards you, Jason, is it? He's just coming over here. Jason, come over to the left. Come over to the left there, and I'll come down and give you a hand. See what we can do. I'll go back and walk up, straight up, okay? Right, right. Come up here. Anyone touch it? Come up there. Go up there, Jason. To a swell. Woohoo! That's a crop fish. That's small compared to what you lost. Huh? That's small.
Who is this guy?
Jason nearly fell in, but that's Jason's fish. He's on fire. I can't even get a bite. So I'm just moving. Well done, Jace. Well done, Jace. So Jason's picking up all the fish. There's always a reason. Luck might be one of them. Might be skill, but I won't tell him that. But he's using a lot longer snood than what I'm using. Probably 6 foot. 6 foot snood. Similar sort of hooks. And again, a big crab bait is a big softie. Well, that might just be making the difference. Again, he's using the fastening. But I've moved to the left of Jason now. Because whatever was happening to the right, I don't think I was hitting the main rip. I think I was in a little bit of a B. So I've just cast the both rods out and I've had little taps on both already, so that's promising again. Just waiting for a fish to scream away with it now. I'm finally starting to get a few bites now. But I can't connect for some reason. I've missed about 3 or 4 sort of tappy bites. Perhaps Jason's hitting it a little bit further. He's using heavier gear all round. So I don't know if he's hitting that channel. Excuse me. But I am getting bites as I moved over. This right hand rod, the slightly longer one, has been going. But nothing worth hitting yet. I'm waiting for it to really start to pull hard. Fish just jumped out there then.
Where?
It's due for a fresh bait anyway, so I'll see if there's a fish on this one.
Good one? No, I don't think so.
Fish on this rod now. There's a fish on. Fish on here. Yeah. And a bite on my other rod. So last time. Lead on my dock.
Ding dong.
Alright. Oh.
Saves the blank.
Well, Jason's had all those fish, and I've had to get this little schoolie to save the blank. You can't be disappointed with a fish like that. There we are. I'll just put it back. I got a bite on this right hand rod again. Oh, nearly fell in the water. I missed so many fish. I'm going to make sure this one pulls and then I'll strike it. Yeah, it's knocking about. There we are. We're into a fish. Oh, about time as well. About time. Jason's been having all the fun. Feels like a nice fish as well, it's kicking. It's kicking well. Yeah, it's gone up tight. Quite there. Oh, and he spat the hook just in front of Jason. Oh, that's so annoying. So annoying. Hooks are still showing, lovely. Driving me mad. I've been having a few taps on this rod, but I think they're schoolies. I might be wrong. I might be wrong.
This one?
Yeah. I'm just going to keep it going. keep winding. Come on. Be nice to me. Don't spit it. So weed on the shot again.
What was that?
A fish.
Fully.
Coolie again, yeah. Hey, I'm happy to have a fish. Oh. It's a start for me anyway. You see he's hooked well in the scissors there. Oh. That's so much bad luck. Jason's having all the fish. There we go. Get that one back in. Just spattered the cockle, that one.
Ah, spattered the cockle.
Yeah. Gone. Lovely and strong. We're on high water now, the tide's turning. And we're still getting bites. Still hope for a bigger fish. That's a bite on the left again. I think it might be a schoolie on it. We're getting pestered by schoolies now. How you think a worse fish to be pestered by?
Ah.
Literally only just cast this rod out. Yeah, there's a fish on there. Fish whacking that. Yeah, there's a fish on. Nothing special again, but it's a fish. I'm always grateful. Got to keep the pressure, find it on the surface. There we are. A bit of practice so when the bigger ones come back. Lovely. I've gone smaller on the baits, just trying to keep the hook point showing a bit better now. It's worked, I'm starting to pick a few up. Let's get it back out there, that bait's absolutely fine. And that bait's actually straight back out. Look at that for a cracking fish. Nice flounder. On the slack water. Same bait, it's a nice juicy peeler crab bait. Starting to catch up with him a bit now. Just need a bigger fish. So we've come to the end of our session now. It's been very quiet, well, after high water. We haven't had a touch really. And we've been stranded on these rocks. We've wanted to go for a while, but we can't get past until the tide ebbs away, so we can walk that way back to the car. But it was a bit of a frustrating start for me, missing so many fish. I think a lot of them were small bass, and obviously I lost a couple. But Jason had a cracking day. He did lose that nice fish, but he had a couple of decent ones to make up for it. But as always, thanks very much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you on the next episode.